I'm here with the Association of African Universities Television, aautv. I just want to say that without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it, aautv.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
Good day, Africa. You're welcome to the Hello Africa Morning Show. My name is Chimai Madaladem Doche. We're coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana. Now to our top African stories for today. Journalists in the Democratic Republic of the Congo are facing increasing threats as conflict intensifies in the eastern region. According to Reporters Without Borders, the situation has worsened since 2025 when M23 rebels seized key cities. Media workers are caught between rebel forces and the National Army, facing arrest, censorship, and violence. The growing insecurity has forced dozens of journalists to flee, raising concerns about press freedom and the safety in one of Africa's most volatile regions.
Reporters Without Borders warns that the DRC has become one of the most dangerous places for media workers in Africa's Great Lakes region. According to the organization, journalists are increasingly caught between M23 rebel forces and the National Army, with both sides exerting pressure on the media. Since the rebels seized the key eastern cities in 2025, reporters say their working conditions have changed drastically. They now face constant fear of reprisals, arrests, and forced compliance. Over the past decade, around 500 journalists have been arrested, with more than half of those cases recorded in the DRC. Many of these detentions last for months or even years. Some journalists have reportedly been held in harsh conditions, including overcrowded makeshift detention centers controlled by rebel groups. Censorship has also intensified. Authorities and armed groups are accused of restricting media freedom and controlling war-related coverage. The National Media Regulator has tightened oversight of reporting, while rebel groups have reportedly censored broadcasts and imposed their own messaging. The deteriorating situation has forced nearly 90 journalists to flee the eastern provinces since 2023. The developments highlight growing concerns over press freedom and the safety of journalists operating in conflict zones.
Moving on, the United Nations has passed a resolution recognizing the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity. The decision was adopted on Wednesday at the UN following an initiative led by Ghana and supported by several African nations. The move aims to formally acknowledge the historical injustices suffered by Africans and their descendants while strengthening global calls for justice and reparations. The resolution has been widely welcomed across West Africa and by the African Union, despite opposition from the United States and some European countries.
The revolution, passed on Wednesday, marks a significant moment in the global acknowledgement of one of history's most devastating injustices. The move was led by Ghana and supported by several African nations. A representative from Benin described the decision as a historic moment, noting that it serves as a powerful acknowledgement of the injustices suffered by Africans and their descendants. The resolution has been widely welcomed across West Africa, particularly in countries such as Benin, Togo, and Ghana, regions that were heavily impacted by the transatlantic slave trade. For centuries, West Africa served as a major departure point for enslaved Africans, with points such as Ouada and Lagos used to transport millions across the Atlantic to the Americas. The African Union also welcomed the decision, commending Ghana for its leadership in advancing the resolution. The Union stated that the recognition marks an important step toward truth, justice, and healing. It further emphasized the need to address the lasting impact of slavery, including renewed calls for reparative justice and broader global acknowledgement of both historical and modern consequences. Despite the widespread support, the resolution faced opposition from the United States and some European countries. The decision now adds momentum to ongoing global conversations around historical accountability, justice, and the legacy of slavery.
Senegal's football governing body has vowed to challenge a decision by the Confederation of African Football to strip the country of its African Cup of Nations title. The announcement was made on Thursday, with Senegal's legal team preparing to take the case to the Court of Arbitration of Sport. The dispute centers on CAF's controversial decision to overturn the final result without detailed explanation. Senegal argues that the ruling is injustice and threatens the insecurity and integrity of football regulations, while pushing for an expedited legal process that could have widened implications for how refereeing decisions are handled globally.
The head of Senegal's football governing body has pledged an aggressive legal response to the decision by the Confederation of African Football. The case is expected to head to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, where Senegal's legal team is seeking an expedited process to resolve the dispute. A member of the legal team described the ruling as deeply flawed, stating that it could not be considered a legitimate sporting decision due to what he characterized as its lack of logic and fairness. Lawyers involved in the case warned that the outcome could have far-reaching consequences for global football. They argued that overturning match results risks undermining the long-standing principle that refereeing decisions are final. The legal team has also questioned the transparency of the decision, noting that no clear explanation has been provided by CAF's appeal board. They maintain that without proper justification, Senegal should still be recognized as African champions. Despite the controversy, preparations appear to be ongoing for a public presentation of the trophy, with indications that it could be showcased ahead of a scheduled match in Paris. The dispute has sparked widespread debates within the football community, raising concerns over governance, fairness, and the credibility of decision-making processes in the sport. As the legal battle unfolds, all eyes will be on how the case shapes the future of football regulations both in Africa and globally.
Ghana will return to the domestic bond market next week, launching a 7-year local currency bond on March 30th through April 1. The move comes after the country's 2022 debt default and subsequent restructuring program. The government aims to raise funds to support its budget, rebuild investor confidence, and re-establish a domestic financing program. The decision follows improved economic indicators, including lower inflation, reduced interest rates, and stronger foreign reserves, although analysts suggest the bond may attract more local than foreign investors.
The government will begin the sale of a 7-year local currency bond on March 30, with the offer expected to close on April 1. The move signals a renewed effort to finance the national budget and restore confidence in the country's financial markets. Authorities are banking on improved economic conditions to attract investors. Inflation has slowed to 3.3%, near a 3-decade low, while the central bank has cut interest rates significantly in recent months. Analysts note that falling market rates as stronger fiscal indicators may limit the appeal of the bond to foreign investors. However, they indicate that Ghana still presents value as a diversification option for overseas portfolios. The government says the bond issuance is aimed at re-establishing a domestic funding program, rebuilding the sovereign yield curve, and creating investment opportunities for both retail and institutional investors. The amount to be raised will be determined at the start of the sale, although Ghana is targeting over 20 billion cedis in medium-term securities this year. The return to the market follows the expiration of restrictions tied to the country's debt restructuring program, which began after Ghana suspended most debt payments in December 2022 while seeking support from the International Monetary Fund. Officials say this marks a key step in stabilizing the economy and rebuilding trust with investors.
Ghana's parliament has passed the Legal Education Reform Bill to establish a council for legal education and training to regulate professional legal education. The bill, presented by the Attorney General in October last year and passed in February, seeks to end the Ghana School of Law's long-standing monopoly. It allows accredited universities to offer professional law training and introduces a national bar examination. The reform aims to improve access, ensure fairness, and maintain standards through the centralized examination system while addressing long-standing challenges in admission to legal training in Ghana.
Ghana's parliament has passed the landmark Legal Education Reform Bill aimed at expanding access to professional legal training. The bill establishes a council for legal education and training to regulate legal education, set standards, and oversee curriculum development across accredited institutions. The reform is expected to end the long-standing monopoly of the Ghana School of Law, which for years has controlled professional legal training and entrance examinations, a system many say has limited access for aspiring lawyers. Under the new framework, universities, including private institutions, can now be accredited to offer a law practice training course. This program will prepare students for a newly introduced national bar examination. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice explained that the reforms align with constitutional provisions promoting equal access to education. He stated the changes would remove bottlenecks that have made it difficult for even new performing law graduates to gain admission into professional training. He further indicated that the National Bar Examination would serve as a standardized assessment for all candidates trained at accredited institutions, ensuring quality and fairness across the board. The majority leader described the passage of the bill as the beginning of a new era, noting that all law students, regardless of the institution, would now be assessed under the same system at the bar level. However, the minority leader, while acknowledging the bill has a fulfilled campaign promise, raised concerns about broader governance issues, criticizing the government over procurement practices. The passage of the bill marks a significant shift in Ghana's legal education system, with authorities aiming to balance increased access with maintained professional standards.
That is all for the top African stories. My name is Jemima Daladam-Duchi. Up next is News Review. Stay tuned.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with aautv. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on aautv. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. aautv reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch aautv free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at aautv. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAUTV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor, or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning, and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
Hello, Africa. Keep watching AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks. This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks. Welcome back from that break, and it's a beautiful morning in Accra, Ghana, the 30th of March 2026, and this is the Hello Africa Morning Show coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities in Accra, Ghana. And I'm just going by as the top African news, which was done by my colleague Jemima Deladem Doche, and we will begin the discussions for the news review shortly. But before that, Jemima, how was your weekend?
I think it was great. I didn't go anywhere. And I think even on Sunday, it rained. Like, it rained for hours.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It stopped around 9 or 10 that way. So, I mean, the weekend I was basically home, just resting.
Okay, so I'm guessing you missed church then?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I won't lie. I miss church.
So, not to be religious, but if...
Please, don't be religious. Don't be like my mother, because my mother also made a statement to me. My mother actually went to church.
It's funny how that subtle shade was flying around social media. Okay, so what if your miracle was in church at the time it was raining? What would you have done? Like, people...
I mean...
I feel like God can understand, or God will understand, but I don't know why people are trying to shade people.
Yeah, but the thing is that even when I walked out
like
and then I got to I went to buy something, and then I got to the road leading to my junction. The place was just all muddy. And
Was it flooded?
No, well, I don't know if any part of the road was flooded.
Okay.
But then again, I got to the junction and realized that a lot of people were on the road. Exactly, there is no car. And
yes, that was a major
every
issue.
time it rains, that issue.
Yeah,
that's
a major
I
issue.
try my best to, I mean,
don't worry,
take
God
myself
understands. God
away
understands.
from all those stress of getting it right.
God
Yeah,
understands. And today is 30th, tomorrow is 31st. We are ending Ghana month.
Today you wore African print without me.
I have-
Today is the third time. And I think the producer has to do something about this.
Okay.
Because I'm not happy at all.
We'll have to...
First, you did it with Dr. Ajiman. Last week, you did it to me personally. And today,
I
doing it
think,
to me
that
again.
we'll have to resolve this thing. And
Unless you guys bring match again.
That will be next year.
No, it should be immediately, because I need to correct. You need to let me correct
I need to place a call to God. And
you
see
have
if
to
it
do
can
that.
happen,
No, it's
because-
not like to see. You have to do it. Everything you can do. Tell God that it has to come.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we'll see about that. And on a sad note, unfortunately, yesterday, there was news of a collapsed building in Accra Newtown.
Yeah.
And It brings to mind many things. Unfortunately, 3 people have lost their lives, and I think 20 people were hospitalized, and I understand some have been discharged anyway, most of them women and children. But the key thing for me is when I saw pictures of the building before it collapsed.
That's true.
It didn't have any structural integrity, if you ask me. I'm not an engineer, but I mean, when you see a building that looks good, you can tell.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw the debris after the collapse, and you should see pillars and you should see iron rods, and you can just tell that this thing can support.
It's not in good standing.
Yes, and
That's
this was
unfortunate.
after the rains in the morning. This happened later in the day.
Someone would say maybe it's the wind. I mean, because yesterday's rain came with a lot of like wind. It was windy.
Yes.
I mean, you could attest to that.
Yes.
But so far as it didn't happen during
The rain.
Maybe
Look,
it
it's a
was
ripple-
just
for me. It's
you
a
know,
ripple effect. That's why I talk about the structural integrity, because
Yeah.
the structure must be able to withstand winds, rains, whatever. Call it,
That's true.
every natural
I
disaster
mean, personally, I
you
also
can think about.
I also saw the picture of the building, and I mean, I'm looking at the building and I'm asking myself, I mean, why should it even be in use in the first place?
Exactly, because it's uncompleted.
Exactly, it's uncompleted. And well, I don't want to say everyone who sees the video, the building should just know that it's not in good condition. Some people would want to use the building, I mean, to their advantage, you
Yeah.
understand, without looking at
Yeah.
the other side or the repercussions that could happen, I mean, with the building. But then again, I just think that there should have been a restriction on the use of the building.
Yes, I
Because
agree.
and since it was, I think I watched the video yesterday evening, and then a man was
Okay.
talking about the fact that his firstborn
Yeah,
is dead.
yeah.
And
I
that
saw
was a
that video
lady.
too.
And I mean,
I watched
you
that
know,
video.
you watch these kind of things, and then you ask yourself, I mean, what's going to happen? Because this parent is going to, live with this hurt for a very long time. I mean, for a very, very long time. You can't replace human beings. I mean, especially when they are dead and gone. They are very
It's tough.
irreplaceable.
So the questions that come out of this for me is that who is responsible for giving permits when buildings are rising up in the country?
But who even brought the idea for them to go and use the building in the first place? I
So-
think sometimes, we have to put a pause on whatever law is at stake, and then
I
think
agree
as
with that as
human
well.
beings.
Yes.
Because I look at a building, look at the way it is. This is not me being insensitive, but let's make it real.
Yeah.
We look at a building, we look at how it's been constructed, the way it looks, and you realize that, oh, I mean, this could happen. I mean, let's
Yeah.
we could just see
We
that the
need to
building
think
is
about
not.
ourselves.
Yeah, so sometimes I just feel like let's try and then take responsibilities, put the law aside, and then let's maybe reason sometimes as humans.
Yeah.
And
I
then
agree.
take the necessary action. We don't have to use the building. Whatever was happening, the activity that was happening could have been done somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah. That's
But
right.
you go there and then now lives are lost. I mean, yesterday I saw a video, they were still trying to, get
yeah,
people.
yeah.
It's so sad. It's so sad. And then this even, I mean, brings the fact that we've been losing a lot of people publicly for some time now.
The
And it's
video
just-
is what is
just-
playing on our
it's
screens
just not
now.
fair.
And I mean, when you look at the debris and the structure, it tells you how not good everything was looking. Look at the kind of pillars and
Exactly.
iron rods that were used for a structure of this magnitude.
And you see, in this case, you realize that now everybody's trying to take responsibility. Where were you when the building was like this? Now people are
sad.
in government agencies, whoever, excavators, whatever. Now they are there to actually bring out, or let me say, get the human beings out. So where
the
were
only good
all
thing for me
these
in this is
people
that,
when the building was in that state?
The interior minister says almost everybody has been recovered from there who was trapped. So sounds like good news.
But lives have been lost.
That's the
And
thing.
you
So
can't
for me,
replace those.
it would have been best if there was no casualty, not even
Exactly.
one. Okay.
Exactly.
So we need to make sure these things are not happening. As much as people who matter or are concerned about building structures must do their jobs, we must be responsible for ourselves. Because at the end of the
Exactly.
day, who gets hurt? The person
It's
that's
you.
going in there. So think about yourself first
Exactly.
before you allow some whatever sentiments to take over and things of this nature happen. But
But you know, sometimes too, we are a bit stubborn. I'm sure if the regulators had come and then said that, you know, this building is restricted, nobody should you know, sometimes you're actually
some things
stubborn.
can come up.
Exactly. We will still go
Yeah.
there, have access,
lot of
and
things
then
will come
have
up.
the activities and
People
whatever
will
we
say
would
they are
want.
being stopped from
Exactly.
doing what they want to do.
So I think, I mean,
Look, there are many sides to this story,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of lessons we can learn from it. So I just do hope that we can advise ourselves first as human beings, and then also to work together with authorities in this country to make sure things are going well. So before we get into the other stories, I know you don't follow too much of football, but when it is Black Stars, you're interested.
yeah, I mean, there was a match.
Unfortunately, the Black Stars lost 5-1 on Friday.
It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking.
I didn't watch the football, so I think I was texting a friend, and my friend was like, Ghana lost. So I was like, okay, what was the score? It was like 5-1. I was like, ooh. And I mean, and you know, prior to that game, I mean, they had lost their. There was a robbery at the camp of the Blasters. I don't know if you are aware.
I heard about
and
that too.
yeah, so I mean, about is it $200,000?
Yeah.
Over $200,000
Something
was taken, as well as their watches and then all that. So people were basing it on the fact that, I mean, the robbery has kind of affected them. Oh no, but come on, you are going to play a national match. No,
Look,
Phil, let's be realistic.
look.
In as much as people, I think my friend also said that, those things can be replaced in just a twinkle
Exactly.
of.
The kind of money they make.
That's okay.
I'm not saying that
That's
it's
okay,
fair
but I have
to
brought
them.
my properties. I'm lodging at a place, and then I mean, in just a twinkle of an eye, my things are nowhere to be found.
Every team has at least 1 to 3 psychologists. Do you get it?
So within that short period, there should be a psychologist. And you know, the funny thing is that the hotel manager was saying that there was no robbery, no one broke into their rooms and all that. And then you ask yourself
I
a lot
am
of.
sure that matter is under investigation. So
There has to.
They will sort themselves out. But I am interested in the performance of the Black Stars. I mean, like you said, you didn't watch the game. Sadly, okay, in quote, sadly, Ghana plays Germany this evening.
Yeah.
At
What's your
6:45.
prediction?
Oh, a minimum of 6 goals against Ghana. I'm sorry.
Phil, I'm very disappointed. You're not a patriotic citizen.
No, I am very patriotic.
You are
I
not.
am patriotic.
Support
No,
your country.
I support the Black Stars. That I'm not going to lie about.
Okay, so let me
But
ask
I'm
you,
being
what if Ghana
objective.
wins?
It cannot happen.
No.
I'm not against against the Black Stars.
Okay, so what is your problem?
I
right
am
now?
talking about the kind of team we have and the kind of football we are playing.
So you think that
we
our
are
team
not
is not
playing
strong
progressive
enough?
football. Tactics are poor. If you watch the last game on Friday, how is it possible? I mean, let's do this logically. I know you don't follow football, so let's do this logically. You are a coach and you are losing 3-0, and you will not make any substitutions to give the team a better shape to play.
So you think the team that played are not?
For me, everything comes back to the coach. A team is as good as its
I think the coach made a statement that he's shocked at.
No, he says he is unfazed about what we are saying. He thinks he's the right man for the job. Look, it's okay, that's his opinion. But when the writing is clear on the wall, we all see it.
These are friendly matches, right? I think
That is
the
the reason
weekend,
he's supposed to do better.
the weekend match was a friendly match, and I think
Today's match is also a friendly.
So does the scores count?
It counts because it can affect your ranking on the FIFA board eventually.
So that means eventually, where are we?
Oh,
what do you foresee? What do you foresee?
Oh, it can affect us going into the World Cup because we need a solid squad
but
going into the World Cup. You see, unfortunately for us, we don't have many games to play as a country before the World Cup starts in June. Okay, so it's going to be a lot. That's why people were not happy we couldn't go to the AFCON that just ended. Okay, if we had gone to the AFCON, it means we would have been playing many games. We would have built a better team. Would have seen the strength of the squad. Okay, but we don't have many games to play. I don't know if there's any game after the Germany game. Okay, so it doesn't put us in a very good position at the moment. So if you are listening to a team like Austria, when we get into the World Cup, it's not a joke.
No, but I think you guys should give Ghanaian footballers the benefits of that.
And in modern football.
And get to believe them, guys.
No, you see,
no, I think and you see, you are not the only person. I get it. It's an issue of work. Play, score.
Thank you.
That is true. But I think the negative
vibe is too much.
Yes, that's what you said. You said 6-0.
You see, for me, it is too much because it is clear. But the FA and the people in charge of the Black Stars seem to think otherwise. And it is not making sense. Because when we all see the sheets as white, okay, and you want to tell me it is black, and you want to defend it with your life, that's a problem. That's
I
a problem. But we'll see.
But I mean, I'm wishing them the best, and I'm
We
hoping
all
that
wish them the best.
just like people, people do not have faith, just like you. But then I just think sometimes you guys should give the footballers the benefit of doubt.
We'll come back to
And
this
and
conversation.
I'm really hoping that if they should win this evening's match, I'll call you personally, and then I'll make sure I
will be glad.
record you,
I will
and
be
then I'll
glad.
let our listeners listen to what you tell me.
I'm a man of dignity. I'll swallow my pride if Ghana wins.
Of course, you don't have an option.
I'll swallow my pride. Anyway, so we'll soon get into the discussions, but let's go and take some event updates, and then we'll be back to start the discussions. My name is Philemon Edwards. Stay tuned. Applications are now open for the 2026 African Union Youth Volunteer Corps. The African Union Volunteer Corps, AUYVC, established in 2010 as a flagship continental youth leadership program that recruits, trains, and deploys young African professionals from all 55 AU member states to serve as professional volunteers for a period of 12 months. AUYVC promotes volunteerism to deepen the status of young people in Africa as key actors in Africa's development targets and goals, enhancing their participation in policy, programs, and initiatives toward the realization of AU Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. It brings people together to share skills, knowledge, creativity, and learning to build a more integrated, prosperous, and peaceful continent driven by its citizens. Application deadline is April 10th, 2026, 11:59 p.m. For more information, visit the official website of the African Union Youth Volunteer Corps.
Applications are now open for the 2026-2027 Makerere University MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program. The MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program at Makerere University aims to deepen inclusive university education and support 1,000 young people from Africa to access quality education and transition into dignified and fulfilling work. This is achieved by providing scholarships to academically talented young men and women from sub-Saharan Africa whose access to higher education is constrained by social and economic barriers. Makerere University is pleased to announce 13 master scholarships under the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program for students joining the Makerere University main campus in the 2026-2027 academic year. Application deadline is the 5th of June 2026 at 11:59 p.m. For more information, visit the official web page of the Makerere University MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program. Applications are now open for the AU-EU Youth Voices Lab, Power of the Collective for Young Filmmakers program. The AU-EU Youth Voices Lab, Power of the Collective, is launching a rolling recruitment campaign to build a diverse database of emerging filmmakers across Africa and Europe. This opportunity is open to creatives aged 18 to 35. Selected filmmakers will join a pre-vetted network and be engaged on a project basis to document youth-led advocacy, community impact, and social transformation. Participants will produce short documentaries, 3 to 15 minutes, social media edits, and event highlights that amplify the voices of young people driving change in their communities. These stories will contribute to cross-continental dialogue and visibility. Filmmakers will receive grants ranging from €765 to €1,800 per project. along with opportunities to collaborate with international partners and expand their professional portfolio. If you have experience in storytelling, filming, and editing, and a passion for social impact, this is your chance to highlight youth voices through your lens. Application deadline is unspecified. For more information, visit the official webpage of the AU-EU Youth Voices Lab, Power of the Collective for Young Filmmakers program.
Hello Africa, keep watching aautv.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks. Welcome back from that break, and you're still watching the Hello Africa Morning Show, coming to you live from the Association of African Universities in Accra, Ghana. And we're just about to get into the news discussion and review. And joining me to do that is my brother, Dr. Ajiman Ochedakon.
Hi, Phil.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, by God's grace.
Looking sharp as usual. I'm fine
You
as
too.
well.
Afrocentric to the world.
Yeah, we always do this much very well. It's always as if there's a memo that's sent, but there's no memo sent, but it always works well.
We're trying to balance the whole apparel thing, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're getting into our first story for the news review. And in our first story, we'll begin from Ghana. So the United Nations General Assembly has adopted a landmark resolution declaring the transatlantic trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel slavery as the gravest crime against humanity. Passed on March 25, 2026, with 123 votes in favor, the resolution marks a major turning point in global recognition of slavery's scale and impact. The initiative was led by Ghana and strongly backed by the African Union. Addressing a high-level UN event, President John Dramani Mahama described the resolution as a pathway to healing and reparative justice and a safeguard against forgetting. The resolution goes beyond symbolic recognition, calling for truth-telling, accountability, and systematic transformation to address the enduring legacy of slavery. Doc, so this was our president at the UN General Assembly, and somehow, some way, he's convinced the world, to say that the transatlantic slave trade is the gravest crime against humanity. Is this true?
Yeah. You know, interestingly, they say that it doesn't only take one strike to have the world listen to you. It takes constant, consistent advocacy. So it is so interesting that we've had several advocacies about this issue about the slave trade and its effects on Africans and how it has really dampened our strength, and we feel offended, and there's a need for reparation. And you have every head of state talking about it. I mean, so far as Africa is concerned, some African heads of states have been making this topical. And I would say Prime Minister Maya Motley in Barbados, in one of his speeches, also mentioned that the likes of Her Excellency Arikana Chiriboye, former AU ambassador to the USA, also mentioned it. I mean, she's someone who always mentions about how slave trade has really demeaned and dampened the African spirit. So you have President Akufo-Addo also during one of the UN moments also mentioned the same thing, that there should be some consideration for reparation, because indeed a lot have been taken from Africans. And after that, we saw an action of the reparation of some artifacts. So that was artifacts. But we didn't just want to leave it at artifacts. But there was a whole lot that had to be done. Not just returning what you took from us. You didn't only take artifacts, you took people. You took labor, you took value. So therefore, it's important that the world comes to appreciate that, yes, we have really, or I think this issue of slave trade is very disturbing to Africans, and therefore a step ahead of just repatriating artifacts, but rather giving them something of value for compensation. And it is what it is. It's good that we had 123 votes over there. Some countries like the UK and the US perhaps feel like this is out of place. But I mean, if you look into it properly, everybody feels like, yes, they deserve this break because of what has happened. And if the US and the UK are not really involved, the others believe that it's so. It's a war crime.
So actually, it was the US, Israel, and Argentina who voted against this, and then 52 other countries abstained from the vote. But the overwhelming majority of 123 countries voted in favor. So this included all African states, most of Asia, and then the Caribbeans, of course, and then much of Latin America, and then the Arab world. You know, so all of these groups of people or countries rather were in support of the motion, and then as it says, that's how it stands at the moment. So the people that abstained included the United Kingdom, most European member states, countries like Canada, Australia, and then Japan as well abstained from the vote.
But there's something interesting about those who abstained.
Yes.
And I would say those who abstained were the major players.
Okay.
Yeah, clearly. Argentina, in this case, I can't blame Argentina because it is also one of the sites where slaves were sent. Brazil, South America, was some of the places where slaves were extended to go and farm, cultivate sugarcane. For Brazil per se, sugarcane farming, cotton farming, and a whole lot. But the USA and UK were like two brothers who championed this act of slavery. No other country at the time was buying slaves. China wasn't there. Russia wasn't there. It was USA, the America, and the British who were really doing it. I think the Portuguese also perhaps were settlers, were perhaps involved. So not surprising that you find USA and UK saying, well, we want to abstain from this because they were elite within this activity and it was abolished right from them. So haven't really been part of this scheme, this trafficking scheme. And today reparation is mentioned, you say, well, I want to abstain. Is it you feeling that remorse? Is it you feeling that regret for your works, for your deeds? Well, anyway.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, but just it's fair to say that they all do acknowledge that this act is a horrific one.
Okay.
That one they acknowledge.
Very well.
But to abstain is what makes it interesting because if you do agree that it is horrific, then why do you abstain?
Then go ahead and do what you have to do.
So it has generated some sort of conversation in and around this matter, and people are saying all sort of things. But it is what it is. But the good thing is that a majority, overwhelming number, do agree that this is not a good thing and is the gravest crime against humanity. So when you look at in terms of the African unity thing, because all of the African states voted in favor of this, is this to say that Africa is beginning to see certain things alike together? Because for me, if we were looking at things in the same way, Africa should have been better than it is at the moment. For example, we shouldn't have trade differences by now. Okay, so are we agreeing on things of this magnitude, and then other things that can forge the continent ahead are not that important? Like, I thought about this when I saw the support from the African states that were in there. So I just can't believe that in other senses or in other areas, we don't seem to have the unity the AU, is preaching. I don't know if it makes sense to you what I'm saying.
Yeah, Phil, this is unfortunate, all right? And if you say it is actually, is it going to be the dawn of Africa's sudden unification where we now come back and then we become more agile and more action-oriented? I hope so, Phil. I personally hope so that this will be the moment where Africa says, well, for once, we've united to change the world's mindset about something. And we've been able to conquer the world in terms of our direction. So now Africa really has a space on the table.
Yeah.
So now let's come back home and find a way to put things right in that perspective. But I'm afraid, Phil, that if we're really going to have that political unification, what the European Union has, they've been able to rise beyond several levels of integration. They are now at that political integration, whereby EU is one. EU has most of its other colors or other member state colors present across every EU state. And you have that kind of unification. You can travel to anywhere without any borders. EU is without borders. But Africa has borders. These are very thick borders. You can't even fly to some places that are very close. You have to fly in far routes. And it is very evident. It's public knowledge. People in Europe say, but why does it cost you so much to travel within yourselves? So integration even in Africa is a tussle. And this is something that we should be worried about as a continent. So if you're saying this could be an example or could be the beginning of our unity, but guess what? Political integration in Africa could have been much more better.
I agree.
Right from 1963, when Nkrumah declared the need for an organized African unity initiative, people were there smiling with him, but not everybody in that room was with him. Because they have got colonial ties. People have been chained. They have shackles that are bound to their colonial masters. France still had some very loyal institutions or loyal presidents within Africa who are with them. So Phil, I hope so.
We can only be hopeful. We can only be hopeful.
I hope so.
I mean, anyway, so beyond that conversation where we hope that Africa will be better in terms of the unity, I just also appreciate the fact that now the discourse regarding, the reparation has become a global matter. And so it means that at every level, anybody or any country that may have gone through this kind of thing will, in a certain sense, receive what is due them. So I'm just happy that it's become a big thing.
So let me just refer to you something. Based on our anxiety about this whole unity, if it's going to continue.
Okay.
The African Union's Agenda 2063 was unveiled in 2013. The UN SDG was unveiled in 2015. According to the agenda, there are some very core goals that we should be achieving.
Okay.
As of today, we have done 13 years of the agenda. 13 years. And look at, I'm just going to read a couple of them to you. It says that a prosperous Africa, first goal, based on inclusive growth, sustainable development, and improved standard of living.
Okay.
2, integrated continent, politically united, anchored in Pan-Africanist ideals. And these are like I'm reading some good governance, a continent with strong democratic values, human rights, and rule of law. 4, peace and security, a secure continent with capable institutions and silence guns. Phil, should I read on?
That's very loud.
Let me just jump to this one. People-driven development, empowering women, children, and youth. Let me tell you something. This is just 4 out of 5, 6 aspirations or goals within the Agenda 2063. That was birth or given birth to in 2013. The African Union sometimes acts in a way that makes it reflect or sound as if it's just an necessary platform we created because we have to just fill a place with people. But we don't see the action.
True.
Africa hasn't gotten that political unity. No, it hasn't. We just got a Sahel state. Means that they were sick and tired of the AU's sluggishness, and they pulled away. We've got women, children, and the youth still becoming the very deplorable and vulnerable in our society. We still have people who are undergoing violence, gun violence. In Africa, Sudan, civil war, is still ongoing. It's not done. So the silence guns also became a sham.
Yeah.
Are we really serious about this agenda?
This thing raises a lot of questions. So many questions we can't even begin to answer from where and up to where. I mean, when you just mentioned the figures, I just the year in which it was announced, 2013.
Yeah.
This was a space of 50 years.
Sure.
In 13 years, okay. Look, now the years run quickly.
Very quickly.
Before you know it, we are halfway and we'll be 25 years.
Telling you.
We have 37 years more.
Telling you.
So are we saying that in the past 13 years, this is just the little we can celebrate? Then I highly doubt that these things can be achieved by 2063.
May 25th, we are celebrating AU Day.
Yeah.
And each and every day, each and every year, we have a theme. All right. I'm not against the AU and its ideologies for Africa. But what my issue is that how are we checking or how are we ensuring that our milestones regarding the Agenda 2063 is really ongoing? That's the issue.
That how question is key, because if that question had been answered
yes,
long ago,
the how.
We shouldn't have all of these things in the past. I mean, and many of these issues are as recent as a few months ago, and in 2025 we are just about ending the first quarter of 2026. But many of these things from the DRC, from Kenya, just under the last 10 months.
Just look at this. Look what happened to the DRC and Rwanda.
Yeah.
The whole war between and DRC was blaming Rwanda for supporting the rebel forces. We are not silencing the guns. The question is, are we really serious? Or were we serious about this? Or perhaps we just want to have a blueprint? Because the SDG by the UN, I don't know if because the UN were behind it, but it has been supported, strengthened, it has been institutionalized, it has been integrated in our academic systems. We refer to it all the time. Even governments are forced to ensure that whatever policy they are laying out there, if they want funding, they should have it aligned to any SDG.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with our own agenda as a continent, which has hope, lots of hope?
This is really sad. It's sad. But I just hope that we are able to answer the how question and then get back on track, because we have 37 years more to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can say without any shadow of doubt that the generation that is coming after us will come and judge us.
Yeah, posterity.
Seriously,
Posterity will judge us, because there's a lot to answer for in terms of because the agenda was rightly placed. It was rightly created because it speaks to our plights as a continent, our predicament.
Yeah.
Everything that we sought to enshrine in that agenda is what Africa should be. And yet, I mean, I'll leave you right there.
It's sad. We'll move on to the next story, and still talking about the problems in Africa and into one other part of something we should be always happy about, football, but it's also generated recent confusion around the Africa Cup of Nations. Okay, so in this story, the General Secretary of the Confederation of African Football, Veron Mosengo Umba, has resigned. And his reason is retirement. But his departure comes at a turbulent time for African football. His exit follows major controversies, including the decision to strip Senegal of their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations title and the last-minute postponement of the women's tournament, events that have triggered a crisis of confidence within CAF. Mosengo Umba, who served since 2021 under CAF President Patrice Motsepe, stated he leaves with a clear conscience, dismissing allegations that had been raised during his tenure. Meanwhile, CAF's competitions director, Samson Adamu, is set to take over in an acting capacity as the organization awaits a ruling from the Court of Arbitration for Sports on Senegal's appeal. The appeal challenges CAF's decision to overturn Senegal's AFCON final win against Morocco and award the title to the host. Doc, on top of my head, Mosengo Umba may be due for retirement, okay? Legally or legitimately, he may be due. But with a major situation like this going on, I mean, generally, what do you think? Is it an advisable thing for anybody in a high-ranking office to, bow out when a major issue like this is going on?
I think that his decision to bow out may not necessarily be the fact that he was meant to leave, but perhaps he knows that he can't continue due to the guilt that he's going to amass, or he has amassed, or because of what he has done. Perhaps I have to leave office so that I actually save myself that embarrassment, because if he's still there, this will continue to haunt him and haunt him more and more. I feel that's the reason why he's doing this.
Okay. So, anyway, we are not to judge. I'm just trying to.
I'm just telling you how I feel.
Because
that's how I feel.
I feel that regardless of the situation, he could have held on. I mean, CAS would release their feedback for the appeal Senegal is making in a few months. I mean, it's not going to go to the end of this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they have already said that. So I anticipated that for the position that he occupied with CAF, he could have just held on a little bit more. You see, sometimes I feel like we are the ones who trigger some problems and utterances around us, because if he had held on just a little bit more and then this matter dies down, then he can honorably step down, unless of course somebody's chasing him or something of this. I mean, something that we cannot explain. But anyway, the most important point in this matter is that the resignation and the situation at hand is what makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we haven't talked about it, but generally, let's talk about that ruling where CAF has come back after 2 months when the tournament has ended to say that they are overturning the results in the final of the AFCON, where we all watched. In fact, the world watched. Senegal beat Morocco. After that, about 17 minutes interruption of the game. I mean, Senegal was protesting against the happenings on the pitch. We all saw it. It's sad to say that even after the involvement of VAR, which is supposed to help the referees, decide on decisions on the pitch quickly and more accurately, we still have poor decisions made by the referees in this thing. I don't know what you have to say about this.
This is one of the most unfortunate turnouts in African football history. This AFCON has been a very wonderful tournament that we all witnessed, and the finals was well deserving. You found lots of events, very eventful moments in there, when you had the Algerian player mock the Lumumba
I remember that as well.
Yeah, and you had Nigeria retributing on behalf of the Congolese, and then Nigeria also couldn't make it because Morocco, I think, that Morocco took them out. Yeah. And then you have Senegal, a top team against the host nation, Morocco. I understand that, you see, the Moroccan aspect, or I would say side of the game, they were so ambitious. Morocco is very ambitious. They had invested a whole lot in the tournament, a whole lot, that they wanted to win. So they had to win by all means. And sometimes they say that
I like the sound of by all means.
They say that you have to find a way to make the host nation win. So I don't know what the referee was trying to do, but there were some moments where he had to look down or overlook some of their minor infringements. That if it was Senegal to Morocco, it would have been called. But if it was Morocco to Senegal, let's play on. And you see, these are human beings playing with all their hearts out. So if they find there are some infringement that when the referee calls, nobody challenges it. But there's that particular one that when the referee called for that infringement, they said no, we won't allow this to happen because there was a similar one and it wasn't allowed. So why would you do this? And this is like trying to hand the cup to Morocco
on a silver platter.
And a penalty. How can you give such a penalty to them like that? That is unheard of. No, this match was very competitive, and it should remain competitive. But for you to say I'm handing them a penalty at this moment, come on.
Look, for me,
Come on.
this is a complete mess up because now anybody can go into football thinking that I can win a game in a courtroom or in an arbitration room rather than on a pitch.
Come on.
Which is bad. Meanwhile, you have these guys go to train week in, week out, come to the pitch and deliver. As much as they are playing for themselves, they entertain the world. And football is business in itself. Look at the attraction it gives to the sports. Okay? And then people come to play 90 minutes, 120 minutes, and then after 2 months, you come to tell us that what you saw in 120 minutes, we are scrapping it, and it's not what it was, and we are handing the victory to another team who we also did not deserve it because we also what went on. I don't want to even go into the details of the other issues of how they behaved, stealing towels and trying to, disrupt the game. I mean, these are things that should not happen.
I don't know if there was a VAR reference for that penalty. I don't know if it was outright.
There was. I think there was a review of it.
Even at the review, still he called for the penalty.
There was a review.
And I personally, I was watching the game at that time. I was like, no, this is not a penalty.
Yeah.
This is faked. The guy faked the game.
Yeah.
I'm not a footballer. I'm not a referee. But I felt like it was faked. And the players, they know. So they felt like, no, this is not fair.
Yeah.
And this whole boycott activity came. But in the midst of the boycott, there were other things like Moroccan players stealing towels.
Yeah.
Mendy's towels.
Yeah.
Fighting over it. All those ball boys were just doing that. It was like
one of
the whole Morocco was against the Senegalese. And that was not fair. You need to protect the interest as referee. You are there to protect the interests of both sides and ensure that there's that parity and fairness. And the Senegalese felt that they have not been treated fairly. And they had to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like it may not have been the right thing to do, but they also felt like if this penalty had happened, if they had agreed, there would have been the yawa of the day.
I tell you.
Because, when Morocco gets that goal, and they feel this goal is our goal, legit.
That would have changed.
They would change the formation. The whole game would change.
Everything.
But you see,
everything would have
the
changed.
boycott was to protect their interest.
Yeah.
That we want to stay in the game, but we think that this is not fair.
Yeah.
Okay, referee, the players have left the field. I don't know what happened. See, that whole moment of let's find a way and get this back on. Okay. I don't think that the players came back because they felt like, let's go back and play. There was something that they had to understand. That, what? We can't recall the referee decision because it's not really appropriate that you recall it.
Yeah.
But we'll go and do it. We'll fake the penalty. So Mendy will just catch it as if he caught the ball. No, but it's interesting. Very interesting. Everybody who watched this ball knows that penalty kick was fixed. And that player knew what he was doing.
I disagree.
Yeah, I feel he knew what he was doing. I was like, he stood so confused. Perhaps he didn't understand what was going on. He didn't like the idea.
The confusion, I can tell you where it's coming from. Number one, you are the host nation.
Yeah.
You are playing in front of your home crowd.
Yeah.
After a break of 17 minutes, you have definitely lost your momentum in the game. That felt like a reset. So for you to come back and then the first kick in the game after 17 minutes is a penalty kick. I tell you, everybody, the best of football players, Ronaldo, Messi, whoever.
Are you sure about that?
I'm telling you.
Are you sure that this guy
if you follow football, you
played this penalty the way you play it?
If you follow football, you will just know that. You see, for example, I'm playing against you. If I am in the lead and you equalize, chances are that you will win the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
You've gained that adrenaline.
Because yes, you're on fire. You just equalize. Chances are that you will win the game. So this is a situation that gives you an advantage. And then suddenly, instead of you to play a penalty, we go on a 17-minute break, which it was so chaotic. We can't understand why even there's a break. Players leave the pitch. They have to call them back. Several people have to be consulted. In all of this, I'm telling you, you are going to lose your mind. Your composure will not be there. Look, this is a serious issue.
I like the way you're being all truth about this. and expressing it as if it was that normal or usual. But I feel, from my eyes, my forensic eyes, my forensic eyes tells me that this penalty kick was fixed. No, first of all, what would bring back all of these players who were so angry and now left the pitch and said we're not playing the game because we're not happy with the way the referee is doing this.
So let's go into
and
the
you
loss.
have the captain meeting the referee
Yeah.
and some other Moroccan officials.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden everybody comes back.
So let's
And the same captain, Sani, goes to
yeah,
Mendy and
Sadio
says,
Mane,
Mendy,
yeah.
speaks to him in a way. And then Mendy goes to the pole, stands in the pole, and then acts all comfortable and catches this ball with steez.
But it's not the first time Mendy has caught a Penanka penalty.
Mendy
It's not the
concedes-
first time.
Mendy
No,
concedes
I'm
a lot
talking
of
about
balls.
no. I'm talking about Penanka penalty. It's not the first time he has saved the Penanka. You see, the thing with the Penanka is that the players would think would think to themselves the goalkeeper is going to dive either to the left or the right, but then they just flew the ball right through the middle, and that's what happened.
You know what I want to say about this?
Unfortunately for Diaz, okay,
let me-
Mendy did not move. I mean, but I want to look at the technicalities of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is where I'm coming to.
Technically,
Look, the
right.
technical thing is this. Ideally, after the walk off by Senegal, if indeed everybody or they wanted what's it called, Morocco to win, okay, against all odds, what the referee should have done, should have said that we are not going to let Senegal come back to the pitch by walking off the pitch, because the
That's
law
all.
is that that's the end of it,
Good.
and then they give the win to Morocco. That have been it.
That'll be it.
Then
So-
the game ends there. But you
It-
don't
it
allow
happened,
play to
yeah.
go on.
It
Then
happened.
you come back, we see whatever happens, and the CAF officials themselves are there to oversee the awards of the trophies,
That is the
medals,
point.
everything.
That
Then
is-
you come back after 2
That's
months
the
to tell
point.
me this.
So you know what?
No way.
If the rules were working, all right, immediately they left the pitch, boycotted the game. That was when CAF said, well, for doing this,
That's the end of the
automatically,
story.
the one on the pitch remains the winner.
Remains the winner.
Straight.
That's about it.
Then
That's
you
how it should
award
have
them.
ended.
Then
Yeah.
you give them the trophy.
Yes.
Like yes, and then Senegal can go back with their ban.
Yeah.
That they will not play the AFCON for the next 3
For
years.
whatever years, yeah.
Like what happened with some players in the past.
Yeah.
Senegal, I think is this Senegal is
One of these countries has that. I can't remember.
Diouf and Co.
Yeah.
Diouf actually retired because
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Punishment.
Yeah.
But you see, this particular one didn't happen like that. They were recalled back, and this recall is a recall.
That's
That
where your
gives me
problem
that
is.
kind of skeptic. I'm skeptical about this recall. That if you recall them, what was the motivation?
Behind the recall.
Yes, and then they
I
agreed to
agree
it
with you.
wholeheartedly. And a whole Diaz, Real Madrid player,
Mm.
plays this cheap ball. I call it a very cheap ball because I know how vicious the Moroccans were. That was a cheap ball.
I want to end this matter there because the finest players like Ronaldo and Messi have missed penalties in the crucial moments. That's where I rest my case.
You know what?
That's where I rest my
They truly
case.
read the truth.
We'll go into the next story and then we are coming back to Ghana. Ghana's special prosecutor, Kisi Ajabin, has delivered a strong critique of the country's education system, warning that it remains rooted in colonial structures that do not serve modern national development. Speaking at the 95th anniversary of Accra Academy, Ajabin argued that Ghana's education framework was originally designed by colonial authorities to produce a workforce for administrative and commercial support, not innovation or self-reliance. He noted that even post-independence reforms, including the establishment of the University of Ghana, did not fundamentally transform this structure. Ajabin is now calling for a deliberate overhaul of the system to prioritize critical thinking, creativity, technical skills, and national identity, warning that without reform, Ghana risks continued cycles of dependency and underdevelopment. On a street note, I want to say that Kisi Ajabin might be right, but my question to him is, what have we done after the colonial masters left us?
What can he do?
No, what have we done?
And what can he do?
After the colonial masters left us.
No, we have. How long have we come?
Exactly. That's what I'm asking. What I'm asking.
Ghana post-colonial influence or colonial control. How many years down the lane?
It's
How
funny.
many years?
So are we going to continue blaming the colonial era of education system?
That is the other side of this reparation aspect that appalls me. All right.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to sound quite negating here. So I had to go for the pros. But listen, let's come to the cons of that reparation deal. All right? It means that you, Africans, you can't turn your woes around and transform your economy.
As a matter of fact,
what difference does reparation money, what will it do to you?
What will it do to you? Yeah.
It means that you're being sluggish.
Yeah.
It means, see, your locus of control, all right? We've got types of it. We've got the internal and external locus of control. Anybody with an internal locus of control believes that they are solely responsible for what happens to them.
Yeah.
So if I sleep late and I wake up at 10 a.m. and I go to work and I'm queried for being late, and it's my fault. But the one with the external control, locus of control, feels that the tomato seller that knocked on her door or his door that morning and asked good morning is part of the reason why she's late. And that the TV was also on.
Yeah.
The movie was so appealing that I couldn't stop watching. They always find other things to blame for their predicament.
Yeah.
And Ghana or Africa should not use this win on this UN vote to validate themselves within that area.
Yeah.
As we are not pitiful, okay? Africa should not be pitied. We have got enough strength and resources to make things happen. We have blown it.
Yeah.
Yes, we keep blowing it. We go for loans from the monetary fund, the IMF and co. We come and then we blow it. We quantify projects that we want to go and do affordable housing. We'll go and take the money. We say we'll pay 1,500. We'll do 50. The rest of it, we'll blow it. We say we want to dredge gutters, mosquito nets. We'll go and do only 10 and take pictures. Whereas we will blow it. This is the country
even with COVID.
This is the country that is asking for reparation money. Hey, are we okay? no, Phil, it's serious.
This is a serious question.
Yes, it's serious.
Look.
So US and the UK, those who really know us, they know us very well.
You know,
they feel like, no, we don't deserve this.
You know, in recent times, when I think from last year or so, or no, before the end of the Akufo-Addo administration, anytime there was that issue of Ghana going back to the IMF to borrow money, people just come tweeting things on social media and posting on other platforms, and all they keep saying is they tag IMF in their post and they keep saying, please don't give us the money. I don't know if you saw that thing.
And that
just tells you
the IMF is not moved by what people say.
I know that, but that just goes
with the countries.
Exactly. So, but that just goes to tell you that what you are feeling now is the same thing people are feeling, because they think that if the funds are given to the government,
let's be fair. Okay? Let's be fair. The IMF gives loans to every country. Even USA owes the IMF.
Yes.
But the USA earns or is benefiting from cheaper rates from the IMF than African countries. African countries go there and they can't smile.
Yeah.
Because the risk of payback is high, or the risk of doing business with Africa is high. And therefore, our rates are high. But for those other countries, they have lesser rates. So on one note, we are not actually banned or inimical to loan processing or loan policies. Our only issue is that we are vulnerable.
True.
We are desolate. And that's the reason why we are not getting the best of these loan schemes. And we are struggling to pay back interest that have been amassed for so many years. Can you imagine, Phil? You start earning money and then all you have to do is start paying debts that you have no idea of. Everybody pays some. Everybody. So can you look good? You can't do anything. So on one hand, I understand. But on the other hand, I think that we as Ghanaians or Africans also, on the other hand, are part of our own issues. Because when we have come this far and yet don't seem to have a unified charter for our growth. What are we even talking about? We are talking about the prosecutor here who is expressing his displeasure about how Ghana's educational curricula and framework not supporting us to be industrial and innovative. He is right. He has no contribution. In fact, if he has a contribution to play, what role can he play? He's a prosecutor. This is a government issue. It's a national issue. And we have got our political parties, who I would want to hinge this on their heads, because they are the ones that get power and devise a way forward to run the country.
Yeah.
Some years ago, the NDC government launched the 40-year development plan for the country before they left office in 2013.
Yeah.
Guess what? I doubt if they are using that plan to run the economy today. But it could have been appropriate if there could have been a national fora or national forum where every other stakeholder across private sector, government, CSO had a seat on the table, political party, whatsoever, religion, to come and say, what do we want for our country? And not only for one political party, but for the nation, all heads, all parties. So I call NDC, I call NPP, I call LPG, I call all of them, all the flag bearers that come and sign a charter.
Yeah.
That this thing that we are going to co-create will be Ghana's blueprint for the next 100 years. So what will make you win the hearts of Ghanaians? It's not the policy. It is how you will do it.
Yeah. I have said to a few friends before that if I had the chance to ever be president, there's just one thing I want to do. There are some sectors in our economy, number one, health, education, finance, and agriculture. These four, just what you are saying, bring all the stakeholders together. Yeah. Let's sit down and create between
they are apolitical.
So that these things are things nobody touches, no matter who is president.
Health, security are apolitical.
Yes.
So that I don't have to appoint. It is done by society.
Yes. So it's as simple as that. These are some of the things that would have changed.
Just to wrap this point up.
Yeah.
When I was in primary school, I saw a book titled Life Skills. I thought I was going to grow to read the book. But before I got to that level, there was no life skills.
It was actually a course when we were in school.
Yes, it was a course. And when I opened the book, I saw so many things: sewing, how to sew, how to plant, how to cook, how to create something.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that.
So if life skills was faded away, what life skills would a Ghanaian young person have? Then pre-tech.
Yes, I remember pre-tech.
I don't know if we still have basic design and technology.
I doubt it. In my school, I even had vocational skills.
Yes, I did vocational skills.
Yeah, so
I was a chief cook for my group.
I mean, so these are some of the things. So I think that the way forward, like we are saying.
So we have to bring back courses that stimulate thinking.
So critical thinking and problem
logic,
solving things, creativity and innovation-driven skills, and then we have to go back to TVET.
And context-based learning, Phil.
Yes.
I think maybe people should go and watch this interview on Impact Stories. I think our hostess, Lydia, hosted this man in the north. He said that.
I've not watched the full video, but
he said that you are in Ghana and you are teaching young people about the alphabet. Say A for apple. How do you grow apples here? A for Asanka. That's what you do at home. Use context-based learning.
Yeah.
Because you know what? The more you cite the context, the more you trigger these people to think of how they can solve it. Do more site-based learning. Take them to Odona. Look at that thing over there, that debt, and ask them, if you had the resources, what would you do? There's a whole lot we can talk about, but we have to.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
A whole lot.
Anyway,
it's a whole lot, Phil. It's a whole lot. We're time strapped.
Time is against us. So I think we can get into the final story here, and then we can move on to the other segment of lifestyle. So in the final story in the review, a new report by the Africa Political Outlook has identified governance, electoral credibility, and global partnerships as key forces shaping Africa's political landscape in 2026. Titled Report on the State of African Governance, Forces of the Future. The study was presented at a high-level forum in Brussels and highlights both progress and persistent challenges across the continent. According to the APO Advisory Board Chair, Viwanu, while some gains have been made, electoral processes remain a major concern, with questions around fairness and legitimacy beyond election day. With at least 15 elections scheduled across Africa in 2026, the report warns that public trust will depend heavily on transparency and institutional credibility. It also notes that Africa is becoming increasingly significant in global affairs, but must strengthen unity, governance, and strategic partnerships to translate that relevance into real influence. This is a major issue.
Yeah.
Because it comes with power. Elections come with power. And I keep talking about, I know that, I mean, every country's election has some level of, I don't want to use the word corruption, but some level of irregularity and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But the kind of irregularity you see in Africa is crazy, okay? But for us to understand that this report, you know, has identified that the political landscape is one of the things that can help shape the African story, I don't know how our African leaders across the continent think, because this report is made public now. I mean, they will see it. I wonder how they will reflect on it and how it will influence their style of leadership, their way of doing things, and whatever they might want to do to change the trajectory of the African story. Because we have always said and we have agreed that the story of Africa can only be done and be told by Africans.
Let me begin with this scenario. Like, two people go for election, right? Now everybody is stealing.
Okay.
But one stole more than the other. So when the result came, the one said, "But we all stole. How come you do win?" So I stole more than you did. But you see, Phil, the point is, so many African countries have corrupt state institutions.
That's a sad thing to hear.
They are corrupt. This is something that we should all begin to look at. The corruption within our institutions is serious. And they are not autonomous. They are weak. So if the incumbent government is so vicious, they control them. And if they see any need for a turnaround, they do it. Look at what happened in Tanzania.
Yeah.
It was pure injustice, pure theft. When the rights of others were trampled upon, people were threatened, abused, all because somebody had to stay in power and got 88% or more than 60% of the people's buying. Look at Rwanda. Are you telling me that Rwanda, since Paul Kagame became president, has had all the people loving him and want him to be president for more than a decade?
Absolutely.
And he always got 99% of people's buying. Uganda, look at what happened with Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine's rights were abused, like left, right, center. And our old man,
oh my God,
Museveni remains 99% loved. Come on, you can't tell me this. Even in Ghana, any time we have elections, either by-elections or national elections, somebody has to die. If somebody was not beaten, somebody would die.
Yeah, there's always some level of chaos.
What is the meaning of this?
There's always some level of chaos.
So when we do this, we put fear in the electorate.
Yeah.
And you don't want to vote. So look at what happened in Ablekuma. Look at what happened in Ayawaso.
And sadly, all of these things are still unsolved.
Yeah.
Because people died.
No, because it's politically driven. The incumbent has a hand in it. For example, with Ayawaso, when the MEP was in power, after all the violence that went on, the case was given to a committee. When the judge later, I think, I've forgotten the name, but the judge who chaired the committee gave the report. The president wasn't happy with the report. Yeah, and it's clear. Secondly, with this Ablekuma one, clearly it was tax from the NDC who did what they had to do. But guess what? It will not surface because it is them. If Ghana continues, or if Africa continues to do this, just elections alone will mar our country's future looking good.
This is sad. I mean, because for me, it diminishes the level of trust in the African context and the systems. I mean, I said not too long ago that if we don't do things right, the generations coming after us will come and they will judge us really harshly. So I do not understand why, when it comes to politics, the writings are so clear on the wall, but our people simply refuse to see that this is what they have to do. I mean, like, it is so sad that we have to make everything a political thing. No matter how objective you try to be, somebody will be sitting somewhere and want to politicize the whole
Very
issue.
political.
And then it makes it stifles the growth of Africa. I don't know if people see and they realize that this is part of the thing that is not making the continent go.
Someone made a statement, a very sad one, said that the political parties here in Ghana are, in quotes, evil because they are the reason why we are not moving forward. They're the reason why. I mean, and I side with him because
there's a lot of truth in that.
It's them.
There's a lot of truth in that.
The violence and everything is because the party wants to come to power, and it's about them.
Yeah.
Why are we living our hopes and future to this kind of politics? Dirty, very vicious, hostile politics.
I mean, to end this matter, all I'm going to say is that young people must become really interested in politics in Africa, and the more we are interested in it, and because we are experiencing the things that
I mean, there should be a clause of caution to it as well.
I agree.
The young people whom we are trying to encourage and motivate to become politicians are the same young people who have been poisoned mentally by these same incumbent politicians in their schools. If you go to the SRCs in their elections, the irregularities they do.
Many of these things happen.
These are the people you are encouraging to come and continue.
Yeah.
Phil, rest your case.
Rest
your case, okay?
I mean,
let's pray for ourselves.
In summary, I've told somebody before that, you see, the people who grew up and go into politics were ordinary people before they became who they are. So it somehow also stems from the people that are rising up. So like you're saying, people have been mentally influenced already.
Been engineered to be vicious right from day one.
And that's
so the future is interesting.
It's sad.
Very interesting.
Anyway, on that note, we'll end this discussion and then we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into lifestyle segment with Jemima Deladem. Stay tuned.
I'm here with the Association of African Universities Television, AUTV. I just want to say that without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it, AUTV.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
Explore a whole new world of exciting AAUTV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAUTV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAUTV reaches over Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAUTV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAUTV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Ever wondered what drives ordinary people to do extraordinary things? Every week, a new story unfolds. But these aren't just stories. They are the journeys of courage, resilience, and vision. On Impact Stories, we open the door to remarkable personalities and everyday heroes. Experience the passion behind their purpose. Witness the setbacks, the breakthroughs, and the moment that defines a legacy. Journey with us on AAUTV every Saturday at 4 p.m. as we celebrate those who are making an impact. Tune in to Impact Stories, where real people share real journeys and real impact, each one leaving behind a legacy written in gold. Only on AAUTV.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor, or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning, and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
Hello, Africa. Keep watching AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Welcome back from the break, and you're welcome to, still on Hello Africa Morning Show, you're welcome to the lifestyle segment. My name is Jemima Madeladim, and I'm doing this segment with... Okay, so today we have interesting stories. We have very interesting stories for the lifestyle segment, and we'll move to our first story for the segment. Ghanaian singer Molly has achieved a major international milestone, winning World Artist of the Year at the iHeartRadio Music Awards 2026. The ceremony held at the Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles saw Molly emerge ahead of global contenders including Arya Starr, Tyler, J1, and Jackson 1. She was also nominated for Best New Artist in Hip Hop, further highlighting her cross-gender appeal. And we also know that Molly's win marks a significant moment for Ghanaian music, reinforcing the country's growing presence on the global stage. First of all, I'll say congratulations to Molly.
Definitely, she deserves it.
And you know, her song, Shake It to the Max, really made waves. I don't know if you know that song.
I actually, when I heard a song, I heard it from X, because I think there was a challenge going on, and I saw several videos. I was wondering, so that's how come I heard about her, because at the time I didn't know about her. So that was what made me, follow her, and then I had to go on Spotify to listen to her other songs. And I think she's a pretty good artist.
And she's actually beautiful.
She is.
Anyway,
comments reserved.
What's your take on it? I don't know how you know what. I mean, she's nice.
Oh, of course, she's a good
yeah. But it's fine. Let's move on. But what's your take? I mean, she's the first Ghanaian to win such an amazing award. Yes, and I think this is the time our musicians should. I mean, this should be like an example or the pave way for other musicians in Ghana to do same.
I always am excited to hear African artists, I mean, to be biased, Ghanaian artists win international awards. I mean, the local awards we appreciate, but when you make waves on the international front, we're excited about it, because then it's not only, you, the artist who is being promoted, you are promoting the works of other African artists. You know, if you have done features with other artists, these people also get to be known and all of these things. So I always celebrate this kind of wins for our African brothers and sisters whenever they are, you know, awarded or let me say, recognized internationally. So, like I said, I didn't know her until the challenge. Only for me to realize that she's a big act, because I followed a few. I followed a few of her videos, and I see the concerts that she's been on, and you should see the crowds that are jamming to her song. So it just tells you the influence she has made. And I always have respect for people like this who make a lot more even impact on the international, you know, in the international space than locally. Okay, because a lot of people like me and you didn't know her much from Ghana at the time.
That's true.
Okay, so it was that challenge on X that I saw that made me realize, okay, yeah, so this is this person. And then I think in one of her concerts, I saw her do a local song of one of these artists. I can't remember the name, but it was one of these songs from the local. And I think she was trying to celebrate how she likes this person's songs.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I feel like it's a plus, not only for her, but for every other person. So now on the world stage, if you're an artist and you say that you're coming from Ghana, you can imagine what it will do for you.
Yeah. I mean, she's gone that far to, you know, put Ghanaians or our music at the forefront. I mean, this is, and even if you look at the contenders, Arya Star is equally very big.
Arya Star is big.
I mean,
Tyler is big.
Jackson, like you look at these people,
these are big.
I mean, for her to emerge winner, I mean, that's a good milestone. I mean, if you ask me, because these people that she's contending with are not, I mean, just
no. They are
artists.
not cheap. Like,
you know,
they've made a name
waves.
for themselves, you know, because they've been they have been nominated in several categories across all the international awards you can name, you know. So these are not just easy artists who are up there. So for her to emerge as the winner there, I mean, sometimes when it comes to, especially between Ghana and Nigeria, we always try to, you know, Arista is Nigerian, so we always try to do the comparison and who is bigger, Nigeria and Ghana. I mean, it's brotherly love.
Comparatively though, what do you think?
Oh, on the
Ghana,
music scene,
Nigeria.
I think that Nigeria is in the lead at the moment. I'm Ghanaian,
Really?
but I'm not going to lie about it. We are doing great.
It looks like
we are doing great, but
so,
Nigeria is in the lead.
In what industry do you think that Ghana
is ahead
of any other?
Football.
I won't talk about. I know.
Football, because they are not going to the World Cup.
I'm not having a football conversation right now.
I mean, but like back to the main story. But I think that it's a healthy competition anyway, because it helps us put together our acts when we are not doing right. Some years back, Bolare used to organize the show where they call Ghana Meets Niger. So there was often a show where it's only Nigerian and Ghanaian artists, you know, who come together. And I think that's where it started from, where the comparison started. And then you get to see, now that show is not happening anymore. But because of that history, Ghana and Nigeria have always collaborated on songs. I think, I don't have the statistics, but I've seen a lot more collaboration between Ghana and Nigeria than many Ghanaians and other African countries. So I feel like it's a healthy competition, and the fact that we keep each other on track and, you know, we push each other, I think it's a good thing. But I'm always excited to know that we have artists on the international you know, platforms, you know, representing us very well. So I mean, congratulations to Molly for this.
I think this opens, I mean, conversations when it comes to global music, especially centering it on Ghana. I mean, knowing that she's a Ghanaian, wherever she finds herself in this regard, of course she's Ghanaian, and it drives traffic to, I mean, our musicians, I mean, our artists, and then, I mean, our music as well. So on global stages, I mean, it gives us
what I like her to do, though, is to influence our culture in the music that she does, so that it reflects the Africanness in her, you know.
Okay, that one, I think we'll leave it to Muli.
We'll leave it to her, but I'm sure that I'm sure she knows what to do.
All right, so we'll move to our next story, and it's a very interesting story.
I have been waiting for this.
It's talking about Apostolic Church of Ghana banning Kiss the Bride at weddings. So the Apostolic Church Ghana has officially ban the practice of couples kissing during wedding ceremonies. The directive was approved by the Council of Apostles and Prophets during its 6th General Council meeting in Accra. And also church leaders say the move is aimed at preserving cultural and spiritual values, describing the practice as inappropriate within the Ghanaian Christian context. And also the church has cautioned against provocative pre-wedding photo shoots, urging members to uphold modesty and the sanctity of marriage. I see you have so much interest in the story, so I just want to before I know a lot of churches do not do the kiss your bride. My church, we don't do it. I mean, I have grown to know that my church doesn't do it, but as to why they don't do it, I can't tell exactly. But then again, I see videos, on social media. Some of them, I would say, are disgusting. I won't lie. Because if they say the kiss your bride or something like that, you realize that it's just not nice. But some of them are actually also very
some are really
polite.
Cool. It actually wants you, it makes you feel like you want to be married.
But I mean, for whatever reason, I feel like, and I see in the story, I mean, in our discussions, I see conversations coming up as this was taken from the Western culture, and then we have inculcated it into our culture. But then again, how do we learn when it comes to culture? Difference from the Western culture and then our culture. How do we, put in or, influence our culture with some of these things? Mind you, I watched a movie over the weekend, and then in the movie, we are not deviating, it's still part of all these things. In the movie, I think the guy was proposing to the lady, and then the lady said, if you don't go down on your knee, I will not take the ring. And mind you, she didn't take the ring.
Okay.
And then, now I asked myself, I think the lady's friend was telling her that, ask your mother that if when your mother was being proposed to, did the husband go down? Yes. So sometimes I ask myself, where does our culture even come in? Because we copy so much and a lot to the extent that we forget our position when it comes to our culture. I mean, I want to take your thoughts on the story. What do you think about kissing, the bride during wedding?
Okay. So first of all, the wedding idea itself is not.
It's Western.
It's a Western culture. Locally.
But I think it's been there a long time ago because I can see some grown parents who were married some years back, and then I see their wedding pictures.
Wedding 50 years ago, and they still.
Exactly.
So it just tells you how much we have copied for so long.
Wow.
Okay. Culturally, in the African setting, it's like it's the traditional marriage. Specifically in Ghana. A family comes to the bride, the groom's family goes to the bride's family. They offer drinks, do whatever. Then there's a customary marriage, and then that's about it. Okay. Even back then, people are betrothed to each other, and then they go up, and then they get married to each other. That's what happened. But we have decided to bring these things into our settings, and more so into our churches as part of the religion. So why are we complaining now about the kissing? Because we went to bring it. We had our cultural things happening. So why did we go to bring the wedding? Because it feels like marrying for the second time or having another occasion.
Even if we want to trace it, we can't tell when exactly the kissing. But then again, I know some churches do not do it. So I'm not trying to cite that it should be banned, but I think the reasons some of the reasons backing it. People are talking about social media, and for one thing, I actually agree. I think it talks about the fact that you find provocative pictures and videos on social media, and currently, social media is being used by a large number of, individuals, or let me say youth. Exactly. So in a way, I don't know, but I'm in the middle.
I am not in the middle. My challenge is, you see, when we are copying things, we need to copy them well.
Blindly.
We copy blindly. That's our problem.
We just pick everything.
Who asked us to go bring weddings into our culture? And in the weddings, this is what happened. That's that culture. They, you know,
the bride, do they really kiss the bride?
They do.
They
do those things in during their weddings. So if you know, even in the Western culture, a man and a woman can meet and their parents don't know and they still go and get married. You know?
Oh yeah.
But in our context, in Africa or in Ghana, the marriage is not even recognized when the parents
are not available.
Okay, but these are the things. So if we have gone to copy blindly, we have rushed the weddings into our setting, and we see that after you have done customary marriage, still go to the church for a wedding. And we have made the situation in such a way that, I mean, now a church must be gazetted for the wedding to be recognized by ordinance.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
If your church is not gazetted, even a marriage certificate cannot be signed. So where you sign a marriage certificate is like, this is how crazy. So it even goes beyond the kissing thing. So for me, it's not really about the kissing. Who asked us to bring wedding
in the first place?
Our culture,
and you realize that even now, comparing the wedding to the traditional marriage, the wedding actually has so much
prominence over the
traditional marriage.
It is crazy. And so people
now we are leaving our tradition and what we stand for, and we are adopting and making it like our culture.
Now people do their cultural things in, like, let's say in Ghana, then they will travel other destinations to have multiple weddings. That's how crazy the wedding thing has become. So for me, it's not too much about the kissing. But if we are copying, why are we copying in the first place? We have copied blindly. So when we are trying to reverse the order, how are we supposed to be reversing it? It becomes difficult. Okay.
And I don't think, I mean, all churches, I know some churches actually do it. I mean,
many churches have had this thing in place before the apostolic church is now coming up. Many churches, I've attended many weddings where the couples do not kiss, you know. I've attended, and I did inquire, and it is because it is the norm, so they are aware. So it's not, so usually the instruction that comes in those weddings is, they don't say kiss the bride. The pastor or officiating minister will say, you may embrace your bride. That's what they say. So usually they just unveil, they will hug, probably a peck on the cheek, that ends it. Okay, but beyond that, we need to define what we want as a people. So if we want to copy things, we don't have to copy and then copy blindly. We
copy too much.
Even
more than what the others
exactly.
We just overstep.
And it is the reason the church is running, because they've talked about pre-shoots for whatever. I don't even know when that thing started in Ghana. Suddenly,
exactly.
And it's like, now if you're going to get married and you don't have pre-wedding photo shoots,
like,
your wedding is not a wedding. Like, really, what is this? Exactly, it's not a statement. And we have come up with all sort of, now when we are going to get married, people come up with a hashtag for the wedding. Okay.
I mean, they use
whatever 2026.
Like,
and it's funny how even people come on social media and come and ask, I'm getting married in 2 months. My name is this. Her name is that. Suggest a hashtag for us. Wow. Like, so that's where we have gotten to.
So they use, I mean, both names. They just coin something and then. But then I want to ask you, what do you think of parents being present and this kissing thing going on? Because I think it's been a conversation where people are like, it's disrespectful.
There's nothing disrespectful about that.
I mean, these are people who are,
in my opinion,
married and are going to...
In my opinion, the parents are married. They know what
it entails or what is coming with.
It is not disrespectful. For me, it is not disrespectful.
Okay.
I mean, I have come to pay bride price. You have accepted the bride price. So in the first place, customarily, I'm already married to your daughter.
That's true.
So if I kiss her in the room, or I kiss her in your presence, most importantly in the church, where I know I can't do any crazy kind of thing. I think you should understand that. So for me, I don't see anything disrespectful about it. I mean, it becomes disgusting when people go overboard. We were talking before the program. You practically find somebody licking somebody's face.
Exactly. It's so disgusting.
And for some funny reason, I've had cases where people want to see they're assessing a record. So you may embrace and kiss your bride, and then they want to be kissing for like 3 minutes.
Wow.
When your guests are seated and waiting for you,
exactly.
Get a room. Close the wedding and get a room. Then you can do such a record for yourself. We don't need the evidence of that record for anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
so
true.
people have to be reasonable about it. But for whatever reason, the church is banning it. I'm sure it's because of what they have seen to keep the sanctity of marriage and then,
And then the tradition
tradition
customs,
as well. Yes,
values that we
these are key.
uphold.
These are not things that are oriented to Africa or Ghana per se. So we need to define our culture properly and keep to it. So if this is what will bring that sanctity to the church, to the marriage, so be it. But it is because we went to copy wrongly.
Yeah.
We need to be sure, we need to highlight that fact. So next time when we want to copy, we need to think about it properly.
Now let's talk about the influence of social media on marriage expectations.
It's pressure.
There's so much pressure, right?
Pressure.
From proposal
Yes.
down to the photo shoot. We don't even, it's true, now the photo shoot has become like a statement, if I should put it that way.
Yeah.
Then to the photo shoot, now to the marriage, the traditional marriage, then to the wedding itself, which we have so much borrowed and overdoing now. And then we come to, I mean, some people having their own expectations from things they see on social media. Even people have, some people have a way they want their ceremonies to look, because they have seen ceremonies trending, they have seen somebody do a particular decoration, or they have seen somebody wear a particular outfit from a particular design.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now let's talk about how social media is influencing our marriage system. Do you think it's doing more harm than good, or it's just inspiring people?
Look, I think that it is doing both. It is the person involved who has to decide if it's going to affect me negatively or inspire me. It depends on you. Because I have heard stories where friendships, especially with the women, have been broken because the bride wants 12 bridesmaids.
That's
and
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah, there's the
they want 12
issue.
bridesmaids. And in the wedding, the setup is such that you must change your outfit three times. And you are asking your friends who are going to be bridesmaids to take care of these things. And those who think they cannot afford genuinely say they can't afford. And then their bride is not happy. And so friendships are broken. What is the problem? Like, what is the influence of the bride, the bridesmaid on the marriage?
Yeah.
I don't know why the focus is on the wedding and the ceremony, which is at most, last year 24 hours, because then you have the customary one maybe happening on, let's say, a Friday. Then you have a wedding happening on a Saturday. So at most,
Sunday there's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
so
no problem. At
still
most 3 days. When is it? Why you leave the chapel on Sunday after Thanksgiving? It is you and your spouse until forever.
Now reality begins.
Reality
to
sets
set
in. So then, what is all this issue?
It's
like,
really
what's going on?
Because I look at some weddings, and then they just have one.
That's all.
One person.
Some don't even have.
And even when they have a number, you could see that, you do not see any flashy, them doing anything
Very
flashy
simple
or
stuff.
looking, and even talk less of even changing during the ceremony, where bridesmaids are supposed to change like 3 times.
Yeah.
And you find brides also wanting to wear designs from particular people.
Yes.
There's so much going on social media, and I think that sometimes when you don't take critical look at some of these things, and maybe still stand by your values and things you believe in, I'm very sure people will go overboard.
Yes.
Try and then get money from from whatever means that they know they can get, and then get on this flashy
this
ceremonies
conversation
and
about
then,
weddings, it can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
But I think that if
photo shoots are not bad.
They are not bad,
very
yeah.
decent ones. You just want to have a memory of yourself with your partner before your whole journey begins. I don't think it's about. But
people
then
are beginning to make a fuss of this, which is
overdoing it.
Yeah, it's overbearing now.
Just like I told you, if the man doesn't go down, the lady's not taking the ring. Who brought that?
How does that affect?
Parents, I don't even think our parents even did. Somebody who married like 50, 70 years ago.
So that's the example I made. So people are betrothed to each other from the time they are young.
Exactly.
So they have known from their childhood that they're going to get married. So at what point is the man supposed to be getting down on his knees to give a ring? There's a certain day you wake up and then your father tells you, Kwesi, let's go. And then to where you are following him to your wife to be's house.
To be's house.
And you are not even aware that there are drinks in the package. You get there and then your father introduces you. I've brought him. This is the drink. And then the next minute,
start your life.
The wife is told, okay, you are married now, follow him. You understand? And so where are we coming from with this thing where somebody has to go on the knee? Look, I get that it is respectful. It's in a certain context, it is romantic. I mean, people have whatever the sentiments attached to it. But is that what makes the relationship or the marriage? It's crazy. I mean.
Okay. Well, so we'll take some birthday wishes.
Yeah.
So this is from Isaac. Best wishes from Isaac Apia, aka Big Lion. And he says, happy birthday, Kojo Ainfi, CEO, General Half Music Empire. So Kojo Ainfi, happy birthday. We wish you the very best. May God bless you. And may he cause his face to as well shine on you.
Yeah.
So this is a belated happy birthday from Isaac Apia, aka Big Lion, to Mama Dinah. Mama Dinah, happy birthday. We wish you the very best. We pray that may God strengthen you and may he equally cause his face to shine on you.
Yeah.
So, Phil, back to you. Any last words?
Last words. We are ending Ghana month. We are ending Ghana month, and I think it's been great. And I've said before that
next month we have to have a month.
Or we can do AAU month. We'll talk about it. Maybe the producer should just take a cue. We'll talk about it. But anyway, on a more serious note, I think that I did say that we don't have to keep the focus on Ghana month where we are deliberately celebrating Ghana only in the month of March. There's 11 other months.
Yeah, I think last week you mentioned.
There's 11 other months. So
we can celebrate other things.
Yeah. So let's just make it a point to do it consciously all year round and not only during the Ghana month. That's all I can say.
Okay, so it's been an amazing conversation. This has been the Hello Africa Morning Show, and this has been the lifestyle segment. My name is Jemima Deladem Toche, and you can drop your comments at the comment section. We'll be glad to read it on our next production. I did this with
Philemon Edwards.
Have a lovely day. Bye.
Program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.